Hi all, welcome back to another Derek W10's guide to raceclubs.com, and today I'm going to be showing you a guide. I think the best way to start the game to learn on what you need to win races, how to make your own sort of like TT collection, time trial collections, so you can work out how good your horse is and what races you should be running in basically. Um, so just going to go to claimers. So I've gone here and gone to claim a horse, and as you can see, you just basically get a page of horses, and you can tick a box and click claim. But it's more trying to understand what horses to claim, and there is a little trick on the game to help you with this. But it seems now the majority of people are running pretty similar horses in claimers. And they're pretty good sometimes. I think the claimer class, if you like, has skyrocketed in recent seasons, and these horses in these claimer races can be a little bit too good. But anyway, I'm just going to show you what you should look out for, some tips and tricks basically. So I've had a quick look through this to make this video a bit quicker. So what I tend to do is I tend to go into claimers and have a quick look through the claimers, and anything that's say this is a 2-year-old race, and this is a 2-year-old race, and that one's a 2-year-old race, a 2-year-old race, 2-year-old gets the same there, 2Y, that's a 2-year-old, 2-year-old. You see lots of 2-year-olds, and this one's 4 to 7. So what I tend to do, if I was a new stable, I would log in or go to the claimers and have a look at the 4 to 7-year-olds that have, or even 3-year-olds that have this star next to them. Now what this star means is they have a SUP paid and they can run in challenge races. And what you can do is you can click on the history of the horse there to see if it actually ever did run into a challenge race, because some horses are SUP'd when they were bought, so it might not mean that they're necessarily good just because they've got that star next to them. So anyway, I was having a quick look through this, and I did actually notice that just down here I saw a star horse on this 3-year-old colt, and I was like, okay, so let's take a look at this one. So here it is. Here is the colt, and I can see that its first ever race it ran in was a claimer, and it got 8th random and 4th. It actually changed stables at that point, so I'll just show you. So it was in Hundrox, and it went to Irwin, is it? And then, anyway, so just going back to the horse. So I was like, okay, so this horse here is basically, whoops, wrong button. This horse here is basically running a claimer, but then it's running a monthly championship race a couple of times. And if you look at the random, it's getting random 2 finishing 2, random 3 finishing 2, so in front of it's random. So this horse obviously was far too good for a claimer. Now, by the looks of it, it's ran in a couple of monthly qualifiers to get into the monthly championship race, and there it actually did finish behind its random, but that might just be due to the fact that it didn't really like the going. I mean, if we look at the further down when it ran in another championship race, it was on good when it actually finished in front of its random. But as you can see, like, it got bought for £12.15, and then, it obviously cost 20 odd pounds to go in these challenge races. But as you can see, it's won 57 or 67 here. Some of this will be bonus credits, but it's got a pretty good form for a claimer. Now, I'm just going to show you the betting side of claimers. So what we got is at the top here, we got betting, and if you click on betting, you get to this screen here. Now, what the betting guide does is people, as you can see, most of the betting races are actually claimers, if not all of them today. So what people tend to do in the mornings is they log into the betting, and they see if there's like a claimer race where a horse is very low odds. So as you can see, we're actually past this time already, so this is going to give me the result of these races. So as you can see, this horse was 2.01, but the 2.5 horse won it. We just go to another one. The outside of the race won that one at 5.5. So obviously that's quite low odds. So sometimes people might claim that horse, but because it was a small field, it's not overly low odds, I would say, when it's a small field. It's the same. You can just keep going down, looking at these results. So there you go. There's quite a big race. You can see the favourite was 4.6. Now, in a race like this, if this favourite was like 2.6, I probably would have put a claim on it, because I'm assuming that all these horses in the race, even though this horse is 26 to 1, are pretty much similar standards. What will make these odds different is the way I understand the betting works is the race is run 100 times, and then it gives you an average of what horses would won or something like that, depending on what random they got. Something like that. It's never really overly been explained, I don't think. But anyway, we're just going to go to the horse that we found. So let's find it. Can't remember where it was. Okay, so here it is. So it's 1834. So we already know that this horse here basically has run in challenge races. So let's go and have a look at his odds. So 1834. There's a time difference in race clubs at the moment. So 1834 is really 1934 in the game. So I'm just going to click on that race. As you see, there's 3 horses in the race, and Just Unusual is actually 2.95. Sorry. So that indicates that these 2 horses here are probably also a similar standard. The difference is this horse is actually supped and could run in a qualifier race. Obviously, it's ran a lot of times where these 2 horses here have only just ran in claimers. So what I would tend to do is because this horse has got a sup on, I would claim this horse, and we know that's a good horse to learn from for definite, because it's running a couple of chance races. It's come level where it's random, so you could claim this horse and then look at the time trials on the horse and make little notes that I need to be hitting around these sort of TTs to be able to compete over the 1600 or 1400 distance in the monthly qualifiers. And if you do this on several different horses in claimers and keep claiming, what you get is you'll get quite a big database quite quickly of TT times, and it'll help you learn the game and help you where to race your horses. Now, where to race your horses is a completely different subject. I personally think 90% of horses that are running in claimers at the moment shouldn't be in claimers. They should be in division racing. But I understand the reason why people don't run division races, because they want their best going, and it doesn't come up often enough in this division racing where claimers have something called request a race. So you can have a look at what well, basically you can pick your race that you want to race in, and then if other people match it, you get a race, which is kind of how claimers come about and why there's so many of them. Sorry, I'm just having a look at my notes on what to talk about next. So I've spoken about the odds, and you can look for low odds on a horse and you can claim it. Obviously, small fields, I wouldn't call this low odds. For this one here to be low odds in a small field, it would have to be, sort of like 1.5, something like that. So these horses look all pretty similar. You could probably have the same race the next day, and this one would be favourite, and so on and so on. But I'm just going to show you an example of 2 horses that I've claimed this season. So, for example, there's a horse here. Oh no, not that one. Sorry. There's a horse here, and it was in a £57 claimer, and it was only 3 runners, and it came second. So that doesn't really tell you too much. But then this race, there was 3 horses in the race, and it came first. And this is when I placed a claim on it, and I won the race. But then, as you can see, I've trained it a little bit more, and I decided that it didn't like blinkers, so I took the blinkers off. The next race I ran it in was a qualifier, and I've got 8th random and finished 7th. Now that's not too great because it was only a 9 runner field, and one of the horses could have been awful in the race. But even so, I know that this horse is good enough to win challenge races from my experience, and it's exactly the same with this horse here. This horse actually ran in 3 claimers, and I couldn't believe it. And then, the first time I've got it, I've run it in a qualifier race. I've got 11th round and finished 9th on Muddy. And Muddy's not even its favourite going. I mean, for horses of this calibre to be in the claimer is crazy. I mean, this horse here, I think, in an open auction would go for £200 plus, and I've got it for £11.85. Now, obviously, this is people learning the game. Sometimes it's just people making mistakes. It's new starters coming, and this is why I say it's very important to make your own time trial guides. There are websites out there that have time trial guides, and I've seen it, and it is completely wrong. It will just make 90% of horses you buy useless in the sales ring or from claimers. They're very bad, and it changes each season. There's been seasons where I've had low horses that have placed in finals or placed in qualifiers due to there were not many that came out the ring that season. And then there's other season when a lot come out, and the ones that I normally race are starting to finish them behind the random. So you kind of have to take notes of TTs every season and just know that this is the best I've ever seen, but it doesn't mean it's the best out this season. It's quite common for the same ones to come out season after season, but I kind of feel like sometimes it goes, you might get a season where there's a lot of top fillies out, say over 2850, but then all of a sudden, after a few seasons, those fillies kind of like disappear, and then the bar gets lowered, and then it's like another couple of seasons for the bar to get higher. So these are all things you need to weigh up when claiming a horse and picking a horse where your horse is going to race. But anyway, I think that's enough for claimers today. But this is definitely a great place to start. Just if you can come in here, it depends on what your budget is. If you can claim one every distance, every going, and you could say claim a 1200 horse on fast, and then one on soft, one on good, etc. And then you can compare the TTs. Maybe you get one that's like hitting half a length more on fast than on soft. Maybe that's because there's more fast horses out than soft. It all depends on your budget and how much you want to spend. But I do think Claimers is a great place to start learning, collecting TTs, and just basically creating your own guide. I am going to do another video on collecting TTs in the auction, which you can actually do for unraced horses, which will obviously also help you in the future. But anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.